am Ibrahim.
I'm Humayra. I'm Madhikha.
I'm Blean, and we are
The BBC News School Report.
We will be reporting on advanced and exciting technology in this school.
You may all be used to using technology in your school, but here at ESA Academy we're one step ahead.
Every student has been provided with an iPod Touch to enhance their learning.
Our report is going to investigate the purpose of this advanced technology and how is it being used in this school.
You must be thinking, why do students need iPod Touch devices in the first place? Why could they not be educated on paper like it has always been? So this might change your mind.
The iPod Touch that we've given to each student is a fantastic device to help young people foster their creativity. You see, what I believe is that, when we have an idea about something, or we want to find something out, or we want to capture some aspect of our learning, we need to be able to do that really, really quickly. Now, imagine having a device that was very big, very cumbersome, that took ages to log on. By the time you have your idea, that moment in time, that very special time that you have to think about your idea just disappears and you lose interest. What I wanted to do is to give you something that would harness your creativity straight away. Now, that device had to be portable, but it had to be more than that. It had to be inside with you, inside your pocket, secure, and that when you pull it out and you switch it on, that it immediately gives you the things that you need. And I found that the iPod Touch was the best device for me.
Let's hear from Mr. Chauhan, the director of ESA Academy.
ESA Academy has decided to give an iPod to each student so that we can make sure that students have the best resources in order to help them learn, and they can also continue to take their learning outside the academy and continue to learn from home as well.
So, how are the iPods used in English lesson?
In English, okay, we use them in a variety of ways. Firstly, students use them as thesauruses and dictionaries, particularly for students whose English skills may be English as a second language. We also use iPods with the wireless system so that students can actually research information linked to perhaps a novel that they're studying within the lesson. So for example, maybe if we're doing Shakespeare, we might use the Shakespeare insults as a starter to get everybody using words that Shakespeare would use and talking Shakespearean language.
And what about ICT?
Rapidly shapes education at ESA Academy. How? A lot of people ask that question. Well, what we've done is we've given it to a lot of the students. Not only the simple things such as communication with the teachers, it's actually allowed the students to really get engaged with the learning. And for me in particular, what I found really, really useful is using this gadget and all the applications on it, which will allow me to assess how far every child has progressed, check if every child is actually engaged in the classroom. And that's probably one of the biggest challenges that teachers face in a classroom of 30 or 25. It's within an hour session, you can't actually go through every single student. And that's where this has really come in, because with the click of a button I can now ask questions, get responses, measure the percentages of the amount of people that got it right, and that informs me straight away of how I can improve on my teaching next to help the students.
And science.
I've been teaching here a very long time, and one of the best things we've had given to us to use in classrooms has been the iPod Touch. With my classes I've been using things like e-clicker, sending out exam questions. I've got a great game called BS Bingo which I've used with some of my classes. I've been using it to access the internet. There's an application on the periodic table that my class were using just today, where they're able to find out how many protons, how many neutrons, how many electrons there are in various
Now we've heard how the teachers are using this in ICT lessons, but what do the peoples have to say about the iPod? Because after all, you are the most important people in this class.
They're helping in class as we use the notes, so we can take notes in class and communicate with the teachers, so that we know what we have to do afterwards in class.
What do you mostly use the iPods for?
Well, we use them for internet, so we can research stuff that teachers tell us to do, and sometimes when we are able to do when the teacher tells us, or just because of our needs, we can email the teacher as well.
What apps do you use in class?
Mostly I use the dictionary, which can help me when in my English teacher, she puts up paragraphs and some words I don't understand, I can just quickly search them on my iPod and then I can write them down.
Please can you give me another app that helps you?
Another app that helps me is the calculator, because in maths I use the calculator instead of just the teacher getting out a calculator.
Can you give me another app that helps?
I use something called GeoWalk, which helps me with my geography, because it first of all tells me places, very old people and animals that we don't really come across in the safari, in the Amazon, and also it's very educational, because it's not just fun, but also it's educational because it has much information which I like to just sit and read.
Thank you.
eClicker is an app to revise questions on. I can answer the question in a click of a button. We can use notes to write down important information. Also, we can organize our apps into folders.
I can also find my timetable.
But there must be a downside, surely. Well, have you ever made an excuse of my dog ate my homework? Well, that won't work anymore, because now you can email your homework directly from your iPod Touch.
Since iPods were introduced last year for students, it's become really easy for students to access information and also to contact teachers. We find that on average, students send emails to their teachers up to 5 and 10 times a day. This means that they're getting constant feedback from the members of staff as to how they're getting on with their studies. It's made a huge difference to me because it makes my job much easier. If I want to see a student or make an appointment with them, I can just send them a meeting request to their iPod and they can get it straight away. I find that the students respond a lot better to this than they do to letters or to phone calls, and so I've begun to use it quite a lot, and I've noticed that a lot of other staff have as well. So it means that everyone's in constant contact. It means students don't get away with anything, but it also means they can get all the information and help that they need.
Now there's no escaping from teachers and no more getting lost in school, because now you can email each and every teacher at any time and vice versa.
What does the future look like in the term of technology?
My vision for the future is centred around our young people and the fact that you are individuals and that individuality makes you special.
My vision for the future is making sure that every student at ESA Academy succeeds.
Complete our reporting.
The iPods do not corrupt the learning of these students.
However, they enhance the learning.
ESA Academy is preparing us for a future
which is not what it used to be.
Thanks for watching.